Welcome to the Red Raider Coaches Show. I'm your host Shane Bennett, along with head coach Coach Cofer. We're going to talk a little bit about the past week's region game with Vidalia, the upcoming homecoming week, and all the distractions that go along with the homecoming week, which are a good thing, and then the game with Groves on Friday. All right, Coach, we'll talk about Vidalia a little bit here first, and I'll start off with unlike the Bryan game, I think there's a lot of positives we can take from the Vidalia game, what we got into it. But before we get in that, injury-wise, did we get out of Vidalia without? I know Jacob seems to always kind of bother that ankle or ankles,
right.
But I didn't see any other
major
injuries coming off the field.
Yeah, I think everybody was fine. I was kind of shocked the way Jacob was moving around before the game. He kept making comments about it Thursday. He felt a lot better, but pre-game Friday he looked like the old Jacob Carter, and I didn't know how long it would last. And we got some good runs out of him and stuff like that. Didn't play him on defense a whole lot. And, first thing people are going to ask is why not, because we don't think he's going to last very long. And I already made the comment we can put him on defense and just leave his tail on defense to help us out there, and we can do without him offensively. But it got to the point at the beginning of the season where we thought we could just, and Coach Langford made that comment, we just put him on offense, and then just, if we're going to be young on defense, might as well be totally young and do it like that and just spare him and put him on offense. But, it seems to me every time he takes a tackle or he gets tackled, he gets folded up a different way every time, and it looks bad. And there's one time on the goal line right there, he didn't get in, and he got folded up pretty bad. And it looked bad. So he was a little bit sore today, but he practiced today too. So we may just totally take him out this Friday. Demetrius I thought would be back. He did pad up today, but we may keep him out too. And he and Jacob. So you probably won't see any 7 or number 1 Friday. And it's getting to be an ongoing thing. It's not their fault. It's just things that are happening. KJ Castile's out, broken hand from Jeff Davis, had pins inserted right there. So Castile's out for the rest of the year. It just kind of keeps happening, and we're having to stick people in there.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of injuries this year. Going into the Vidalia game, I quit asking how you read the boys, how you think they're doing this week. And to me, I thought we came out as good as we have since the Pierce County game as far as intensity and the way we played, marched the ball down. We score on the first drive, and I thought things were going our way. And they were.
Right.
Take a few breaks that way. What do you take away from Friday night? From a positive standpoint, yeah,
positive standpoint. I thought we moved the ball well. Our game plan going in, you like to have everything working and everything going well, but horsemen, we didn't practice that a whole lot, and I'll get to that in just a minute. We didn't practice it a whole lot because that wasn't part of the game plan to go against their front right there. We thought spreading it out, throwing it, we saw the holes right there. Obviously, Aubrey did a great job. I think he was 25 of 32, had a 78.1 completion percentage. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, played awesome, ran when he had to. We did have a couple sacks, which weren't his fault. It was pass protection with linemen and the running backs right there. But played a great game. Big Man had a good game. I think Big Man did have 2 drops, or a drop and a fumble deep in our territory. But other than that, offensively, I thought we hit our spots. We had the third quarter, we put our defense in a bind right there. But for 3 quarters, we were on and did well. And the positive thing, right there at the end of the game, just kept plugging right there offensively and had a chance to, get 2 more scores right there at the first half. And I counted as positive, Shane, right there. But, I screwed up. I called it at halftime with the kids right there. We were moving the ball, I think it was 21-13, and moving the ball deep in their territory. And for some reason, I said horseman. And we hadn't practiced it a whole lot, like I just said, but I said horseman just because I'm used to getting into it there. And I get around, and I got 2 kids asking me questions, and there goes the clock. So we lose 5 yards. So I kind of killed a little bit of momentum right there. Honestly, the 5 yards it ticked me off because we lost the 5 yards, but I didn't think that, I thought we could get it. I mean, that wasn't a big deal to me. I had that faith in our kids. And we just, we didn't get a play action out of Jacob right there on that interception. And then Dawson, giving all the effort in the world, he just didn't throw it far enough. And we got that right there. But kids fighting to the end's a positive. Third quarter was a disaster. Fourth quarter, I thought our kids were still fighting right there. I love our kids to death. Coaches do too. We're still learning. We got 130-pound, 140-pound kids on defense trying to take on buck sweep with 250-pound kids, and watch the film, you see the size difference, and it's just not happening.
Well, you look at the stats, we shouldn't have been in the game at all.
Right.
Well, I've had people ask, you got Coach K on the sidelines, offensive coordinator. I know you got Matt Whistler. Are you the last call on play calls? Are you the one calling plays, or is that?
I am the last call.
Or so, how do y'all generate play call? I mean, you got a script that you play up before the game.
Well,
it's kind of a feel thing.
Yeah, it's a feel thing for how things are going during that. You can generate a script all you want to. Usually, most coaches will get off of it and stuff like that. I've tried to do it before, but it never. You put yourself into different situations on a third down and short or fourth down, or if something busts on a run, we're liable to run the same play, which we did. And Jacob gets one run, I think for about 4 or 5. We call the same play again, and Aubrey breaks it around on an option run for another 6 or 7. So we have those kind of options to do that. But yeah, I'm the last guy that calls that. But we can't do it during a series. We're going too fast to be able to call plays together. There's no noise on the headsets except first down. You're about 3 short. You're about 1 short. First down on the right hash. That's about the only noise you'll hear on the headsets right there during a series. And then we talk in between series when we're on defense about what we need to do. But the game plan is going in. I mean, we ask Aubrey, we ask our receivers, we ask our running back, we ask the linemen. What's first play? What do we need to run? What have we been running good? What do we think that looks good right there? I mean, we can do it all day as coaches, but you need to ask the kids what they feel comfortable doing with too. So Aubrey gets a big part of first play calls or what he wants to do too, what he feels comfortable with, and we did what he wanted to do right there and drove it down the field in the first series.
Yeah, I thought him pulling the ball a lot because they were keyed on Jacob on number 7,
right.
And him pulling the ball, they had him fooled for a while there because they were tackling. Never knew Aubrey had the ball for a while.
Right.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and finish up out Vidalia and then get into the Groves and this whole homecoming week. But we want to thank our sponsors that we're fixing to throw up right now. We'll be right back in just a second. All right, Coach, before we get into this, finish up with Vidalia, I want to thank a few folks, or give a shout out. Alma Pro Wash and Taylor Farms did the breakfast for us week before last, and then this week we had Jennifer Ellis, attorney at law, and Taylor Farms paying for these breakfasts. I know y'all gotten kind of accustomed to those, and that's a good thing for these guys, because a good hot breakfast in the morning, then they get a good lunch, and then they get a good meal that afternoon. We went to First AB Friday.
Good food, great food.
Yeah. Brother Stefan Dean down there, football alumni. Finishing up on the Vidalia game, Coach. Special teams, how do you think we did special team wise Friday? Aubrey's about to become a master at that. Is that hurry up punt, and he's gotten the roll on every time. We've got some good spots where it changed field position on us with those punts.
Yeah, it did. You know, and it helped us right there at the beginning of the ball game, I think, in the first half. The problem I had with, and if you were in the stands, I'm sure you heard me, is we had a couple of linemen not doing what they were supposed to at the end. Pass blocking on the quick kick. We only move him back to 7 yards, and we try to punt the ball out of there quick so they can't get a return. So, you know, people don't set up we can always run an offensive play if it's close to. We have that in the books that we can run an offensive play and go for it on fourth down out of that punt look, quick punt look that we do. Aubrey does a great job. Dawson Jewell does a good job too when he's in there and does it. So quarterbacks are doing that, but you want to put the ball in an athlete's hand, for a quarterback's hands. He can throw it, he can run it, anything like that. But yeah, we just had a breakdown in the second half doing that. If they didn't get blocked, but they were dang sure close, 2 of them, and there was only 3 guys rushing. And we got 5 to 6 guys with a running back up there protecting. And it just looked like, it looked sloppy. I thought if at one time in the game right there in the third quarter, defensively and offensively, and then special teams wise right there in the third, or it had to be in the third. That was in the third quarter too. Everything was just kind of falling apart in the third quarter. And we just weren't doing our job. I thought we took a step back. And once you jump on it, that's when you're at that stage where kids can fold up and quit. And I was questioning this right there, to tell you the truth. And when you get down like that, you can't do it. I mean, we're down 21-13 at halftime, and I'm thinking the whole time, we're going to win this thing. I never had a doubt in my mind. The way we were moving the football, we were going to get some stops defensively. Aubrey did a good job on the kickoffs too, pooching. He had some struggles during practice, and believe me, he wasn't liking me a lot because we were up down in his tail a lot if he wasn't getting a good kick. But he did a great job Friday with the kicks too, and getting some good returns with our guys on kick return. So not bad.
Yeah, their special teams. We had again that first half, those 3 opportunities we were inside they were in the red zone twice, and then they have a punt that goes over his head. We missed there in the end zone. We had our opportunities in that game. We just weren't able to capitalize where they were. And I think that drive for them coming out in the second half kind of broke us in that third quarter. Yeah,
when they got the second touchdown, I think that kind of got us down in the third quarter. And then the third one almost devastated us to a point. But at that point, we just couldn't stop them. And they rolled 3 more running backs in there, and it just kept pounding us. And
Well, the good thing is we got homecoming this week. We got Groves coming in, making a long drive in from Garden City or Savannah.
Right.
Do you change, of course, with your practices in the morning, it didn't really affect your practices, but traditionally, how's that affected your players' homecoming week, and how do you like to deal with it with your players?
Well, Mondays and Tuesdays are work days, so it really wasn't bad today whatsoever. It was actually a good day. I was worried about coming off a loss like that at home, and it being homecoming week today, to be honest with you, I thought this is not going to be a very good day going in, and they did. Now, we were yelling. I was on the receivers because we're throwing some screens Friday, and it's terrible that sometimes we have 2 kids on one, and it's whoever wants it the worst. And we're not getting those blocks right there. So we worked on that today, big time offensively in the offensive group. And then we'll do it again tomorrow, and we'll do it again Wednesday. They won't have pads on except for a helmet on Thursday. We'll be doing it then. But we've got to get better at that, and we've got progressively worse. Practices haven't changed. as far as that, except, when you have a lot of kids hurt, you can't bang as much. Jeff Davis, we did, but then we just keep ending up with people limping, people taped together. It's something else. So it does take a little of your physical ability away from you. So, but it hadn't affected us yet, Shane. I hope it doesn't in the next few days. I'm always worried about that, and I don't want us to just win Friday. I want us to win convincingly, and we should be able to, but we got to have that mentality. And our mentality was good today. It was focused today, and the kids got after it. It was a good day. Had a little, I wouldn't call it a brawl, but had a little skirmish between two kids today. It was hardly a bad skirmish, but at least they got after it today, and somebody was getting a little mad. We hadn't had one of those all day. If you're hitting somebody at practice and you don't get mad at least one time, something's wrong. Yeah. But we did have one of those today.
What, anything that Groves is bringing in that y'all are particularly worried about, or that we're changing up or doing anything different for this week?
Well, thank the Lord above, we're not going against a wing tee again. I'm sick of seeing it, to be honest with you. They'll spread it out. They'll go and run the I, which is running downhill at you. I think it sets us up better. Defensively for what we have right now to get our confidence back, and then what we're in. They see us running spread type stuff in practice all the time. Our defense does, so I think they'll feel at home going against this, and we can hopefully make some plays and get some kids in. But we got a lot of kids that we weren't planning on necessarily playing a lot this season, and they're having to be starters. And that's fine. You may see a freshman start on offense this week, J.P. Peterson, who ended up having to play a little JV quarterback, but can run. Broke a lot of runs during the JV on, probably 2 80-yarders and a 95-yarder. J.P. can start at receiver for us. We're going to find some receivers that not only want to just catch the ball, but they're going to block. And we always say, if you don't block, you don't get to rock. So that counts for our running backs. Also, we had to get after a couple of those right there. Auburn took a lick Friday because we've been over something all week where one of our backs was supposed to hit the defensive end before he goes out on pass, and he never touched him. And, we got to start thinking about what's good for the team, not what's good for me catching a pass. And, it's pretty scary for Aubrey to take a lick like that and have to come out for about 3 or 4 plays. And then the first play, he comes back in, it's a 4th down and 5. And he completes a touchdown pass. So that was pretty special Friday night too. But hopefully no distractions, Shane.
Well, y'all, I know y'all participate in the parade Thursday, I guess, right on the fire truck where they've done traditionally. So we'll say practice in the morning, it just won't make a big deal.
Right.
Homecoming festivities are all pregame, or are they halftime this year? They're pregame. Is that correct?
I think so, yes, sir.
Okay, so if you're coming to the game, which we hope you are, get there early if you want to see the homecoming stuff, because halftime will be a normal halftime, and we'll go right in third, fourth quarter with our normal stuff, not delaying the game any at all. Coach Wharton, talking about the region a little bit, I know we've kind of put ourselves in a corner of what we got to do. Kind of explain the scenarios and what we have to do as a football team to get in the playoffs and then excel in the playoffs.
Win out. Have to win this one this Friday, and have to win next Friday versus MCA to get the 4th spot. I don't make any secrets. After the Pierce game this year, if you told me that we were going to fight for a 4th spot, I'd call you crazy the way we were headed. I think we've improved in a lot of things. I think we've gotten our confidence down, our swagger down in some things, but it also reflects people who are hurt, and that's some of our seniors right there. When you lose number 1 and number 7, that's a big confidence boost on defense. Not just offense running the football, but we're able to do some different things offensively. You have to look at our kids. Defensively right there are just smaller, and I wouldn't trade them for anything. But we have twice as small kids as some teams that we're facing, even Jeff Davis. But, I'm looking out there by day, and they're about to score their last touchdown, and I'm thinking, just look at the size of them. That's, when you're running a wing tee and you're being a physical offense, that's what you want to do. You know, we're trying to wear people out on our offense, but physically, when you're that much bigger than somebody, you know, and then the next question is, why don't you get your kids bigger? Well, you know, if you've ever lifted weights in your life, you know that getting a kid bigger, especially with his body type, sometimes doesn't work out that way or that quick without help, and we're not going to do that. You know, we feed our kids, we feed them protein bars, all that kind of stuff. You know, a lot of kids don't mature body-wise until after high school. A lot of kids are blessed with that. Now, Bacon's had some in the past years, but, you know, we don't have Jay Jackson anymore. We don't have Tron. We don't have Drell. We don't have those type right now. We have great kids, but we just don't have that type everywhere. There's those bigger kids that we can, you know, depend on to help us right there through tough times. But these kids, these sophomores, they're starting right now. They may be taking a beat now, but it's going to help them in the future. Yeah. Very positive about these young guys.
Yeah, we got a bright future with
yeah.
athletes coming up. Speaking, you mentioned Drell, you know, Friday night or Saturday. This time last year, he's getting ready for Groves. This year, he's on lights at LSU.
LSU, it was good to see him there. Yeah,
yeah, big deal. Coach, you want to talk a second about our middle school and the season they ended up with and how they did this year?
Yeah, got beat last Wednesday by Wayne County. What's the name of the middle school?
Arthur Williams.
Arthur Williams, yeah. Arthur Williams has some great athletes, a lot of speed. That's the first time I'd seen Arthur Williams play against our crew. I thought we probably kind of played a little bit flat, and we weren't doing some good things offensively. But let me tell you this: that middle school team has changed a lot around here, and the mentality is what we're talking about. You know, we talked about that last year coming in. Is we want to do that with every phase, not just high school, but middle school and the rec league too. And it's definitely taken a hold down there at the recreation department. You got some undefeated teams down there, and just teams playing aggressive and some speed. It's good to see those little kids do that. It's good to see our middle school kids and kids that are coming up, and this 8th grade group that's coming up too, can be very special. And we'll be young next year, not getting ahead of ourselves, but we'll be young next year, but we'll have some athletes, so it's going to do nothing but get better and better through the rec leagues and the middle school program. But very proud of them, very proud of our coaches that were coaching their tails off every day out there, every afternoon. Steve Owens, Thomas McCullough, George Roberts, Reuben Duncan, Dalton Allman, Derek James, and Gladwin Harper. Great group of coaches, great group of guys that worked well with each other and for these kids, and the kids just responded well to them.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time our middle school had won that many games in a year, so that was a big improvement for them. Coach, anything else on Friday night that we want to?
One thing, you know, I should have mentioned it last week, but it just got my attention. We were at Jeff Davis, and the girls saying the prayer over the loudspeaker. We do it all the time here, and with all the crap that goes on in our world and people trying to shut prayer down and stuff like that. And I can't remember the hymn that was played by the Jeff Davis band, but the superintendent at Jeff Davis played for my dad in high school, Mr. Rob Brown, and he came to speak to me, and I just told him I thought that was a great job of what Jeff Davis was doing, playing a hymn before the game and saying the prayer and to keep that going. And then I come out, and then we're doing the same thing. And, you know, some of these schools in North Georgia can't do it or choose not to do it because of you know, what they're being told. I like what we have in South Georgia. I like what is here. Even when one of our rivals with Jeff Davis is doing good things like that, it makes me very proud to be a Christian and to hear that over that. And I hope everybody, you know, that comes to our games understands how special that is to see a bunch of people in the stadium praying together and not afraid to you know, offend anybody else right there.
You said people in the state. I forgot to even mention rec night Friday night. It was good to see all those teams, all those kids out there on that.
Oh yeah, it was a good job. And, you know, high five. I kind of missed it. I was late coming out, and a lot of them stayed and gave me high fives too, and held their guns up. And the kids and the coaches right there did a great job doing that. Was very proud to see those kids and those coaches out there on the field Friday night getting to stand in front of our home crowd. It was a good thing.
Those kids, they love being on that field, and hopefully one day for real on Friday nights.
Right.
Well, Coach, I don't know, we'll wrap it up. Any other questions we have? I guess the last question I have for you is I had from somebody was ask you how Auburn's going to pick up the pieces now.
Well, after Friday night, and watching those points get scored, and then after watching it Saturday, I was pretty out of it, watching Auburn too. So, yeah, it hadn't been a very good weekend this past weekend, seeing all those points scored. So, I didn't even put my Auburn jersey on. I usually do in game time, and I thought they were going to pull it out.
Georgia's got a tough one this week too, but maybe.
Well, they're all tough. If you play in the SEC, they're all tough from now on. So, you know,
I said that about our region as well too, because
Right.
in our region, I don't think there's a. I mean, people say one thing or another, but any given night, with McIntosh proving that this year,
right.
anybody can.
Tron Folsom, I saw him. I didn't get to speak to him a lot. Saw him at halftime, but Tron Folsom was at the game Friday, and I hate that he had to see that when he got to see the Long County game too. But glad to see Tron doing so well too at Troy University.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here and hopefully have a great homecoming week, and we'll talk Monday about hopefully a victory over Groves and going into last week with McIntosh regular season anyway. So till next week, go Raiders.
Go Raiders.